Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys have missed me because I have greatly missed all of you. I had a crazy month of March. I had a huge test that I needed to study for, and content creating was just not in the cards for me. However, took that test, passed that test. I am now officially a nurse, which is still wild to say, and I am just ready to get back to life. I did do some reading last month and I managed to finish the Poppy War Trilogy. I read book one at the end of last year, and then I picked up another series, and then picked up another series, and just never got around to finishing it. However, last month I managed to read The Dragon Republic and The Burning God, and I would like to talk about it. And while I have a lot of thoughts, I'm going to do my very best to make this a spoiler free review. Quick synopsis: we have our main character, Rin, who is this girl from a small town who has aspirations to go to this prestigious and affluent military academy. The series starts off with Rin doing everything within her power and then some to qualify. She gets help from someone in her neighborhood who tells her that she doesn't have a lot of time to learn everything that she needs in order to qualify, but Rin is stubborn and they just don't understand her resolve. So she's like, watch me. Needless to say, she does what needs to be done and she makes it into Senegard. She ends up getting instructed by a very lovable character named Zhang, who becomes that first very pivotal figure to her. And now, just to give a more broad breakdown, halfway through book one, we end up getting thrusted into this very horrendous war where Rin discovers shamanism. Well, not discovers because she's already known of it, but she ends up getting her own fire god. And from there, this book really takes you on a ride, for better or for worse. It's something. Okay. What I really loved about book one is how R.F Kuang really sets up the character of Rin. She gives us a very clear image of who Rin is, her diligence and how far she's willing to go to attain the things that she wants most. I also really loved, and also really didn't love, how well R.F. Kuang depicts the severity of the war. Like from the beginning, you get a very clear image of what we're dealing with. This author did not hold back. She really wanted you to see the effects of war, and I got that. Thank you, Rebecca. All in all, I feel like R.F. Kuang was really good at setting the foundation of the trilogy with book one. Book two is where I think we are really in the thick of it. Our characters are taking everything that they've learned at Synagard and trying to put it into practice. And the reality of that is very jarring for them and for us as the reader. People that we thought we can trust, we no longer can trust. Allyships are being broken, strong relationships are being dismantled because lives are being lost, and the manner in which people are losing their lives. Check your trigger warnings. Check your trigger warnings because it is intense. Okay, like I said, this author did not hold back. And book two is where I really started to feel for our main character, Rin, because she is only 16, I believe. And that is a lot. That is a lot to see and to try to keep a level head through all of that. Couldn't be me, is all I'm saying. She loses some of the people that really ground her. And she has this god in her head who's just begging for chaos. It's a lot. It's a lot. And here's where I'm going to have to change my tone a little bit because while I gave book two 5 stars, book three is really what took the series down a notch for me. And the reason for that, and I want to be concise, was the repetitiveness. The repetitive dialogue, the repetitive story sequence, even the intrusiveness of each story sequence was very cut, copy, paste for 1,200 pages. And it lost its impact on me rather quickly. I kept waiting for the and. I felt like this author had a point that she really wanted to drill in and drive home, and I kept waiting for the and. Like, war is hard, and that never comes. That never happens. It's really just war is hard till the very end. In books two and three, we meet a lot of other characters that play a very temporary role in the plot. They very conveniently appear to push the story along and then sort of disappear, and it just happens rather quickly. It's very back to back to back. I won't pretend to know the first thing about war, but I found it a bit implausible that between students who just graduated a military academy and generals of war who have previously experienced a poppy war, between both groups, none of you had the cunning to foresee the counterattacks. Like, none of you? I don't know. This wasn't a win some, lose some kind of thing, and I think had it been, the story would have been more compelling for me. But instead, we got a lot of ill laid plans. Rin and the people around her would put together this plan, and we would train people up to execute this plan, and we would map our way to the location where we're going to execute this plan, only for it to fail really quickly. As I went on through the rest of book three, I found myself rolling my eyes and just kind of shrugging and being like, and I didn't like that feeling. Also, after finishing the book, I saw that it was a grimdark fantasy. I don't know if that was just mismarketed to me because I did not know prior to reading the trilogy that it was a grimdark fantasy. That was news to me. But I don't feel like grimdark fit the plot. When I think of grimdark, I think of the show The Boys. If you haven't watched that show, you really should. It's great. Um, and like with that show, the plot benefits from our characters being sort of messed up. The Poppy War doesn't benefit from Rin's stubbornness, from her inability to mature and grow and evolve. Instead, it keeps the plot stagnant all the way through. Also, keep in mind, we don't get a great view of anything that's happening outside of the war. There's no civilian side story that is showing us the effects that the war is having on civilians in real time, like as the story is going. We understand that they are desperate and they are destitute, but nothing to really motivate us and show us the extent of how much we're winning or how much we're losing. The series starts with the war, the series ends with the war. You're just in the war. I did understand that that would be the case when I started the trilogy, and that actually intrigued me. I think we get enough stories told from the heroes that win the wars and not enough from the perspective of those who don't. So I really appreciated that approach. The execution for me fell flat. The end of book 3, there's this moment of martyrdom, and I won't say from who, but it felt like it was just there to mollify the reader. Like, you made it this far and you should be rewarded with something, so we're going to placate you with this fall on the sword scene. Like, if I look at the series as a whole, nothing's really happened, but you gave me something punchy in the last 100 pages, so I guess I can overlook everything else. I didn't really like that. I'm not above admitting that that tactic has worked on me in other stories, but I held the Poppy War to a higher standard and I had greater expectations. So I was left kind of disappointed. All in all, I can see why people have given this trilogy a 5-star rating. I think they genuinely had a 5-star experience with this book. I just didn't. Had a really strong start and a much weaker finish, and that's just my review on it. Anyway, I would definitely say check your trigger warnings before getting into the series and really know yourself as a reader. You could walk away feeling like you wasted your time with this one. I don't feel like I wasted my time with this series, but I could see readers feeling like it was a lot for a little. But anyway, comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on the series. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Happy reading.